On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
Rise and shine.
Up and at 'em.
Wait,
Wake up, sleepyhead.
I'm not ready.
Are you serious right now?
Did you forget what day it is?
It's Tuesday.
Just another day in paradise.
Or just another craft day.
That kind of language is inappropriate.
It's early in the morning, okay?
What'd I say?
You said it was
Tuesday.
Time waits for no man.
So let's get started.
Let us seize the day.
Showtime.
Can you say the word crap on the air?
Can you say it?
I just did.
Yeah, I think you can, because that's kind of like, it's only after Thomas Crapper, the the inventor of the
Crapper.
toilet seat, and his last name was Crapper. So
Okay.
that's why I think you can get away with saying that one.
All right. Well, it's not a crap show. Oh, the show's not going to the crapper.
No.
That's the word of the day, crapper, okay? It's going to be a word of the day. I'm just in a mood.
Yeah.
I'm just in a mood. We were talking off air. I'm not going to convey my whatever it is I was talking about to you on the air, because I have to turn the switch on and be the happy-go-lucky kind of guy right now.
Yeah, just think of something nice that you're doing later on in the day or later on this week, Evan, like maybe say like going to the ball game.
Oh, see, now that's just like, that definitely is not crapper material.
No, that's not.
No.
And I might even consider going to see a movie later.
Really?
It's my $5 movie day out at the theater in St. Lucie West.
Is that Carmike Cinemas? Is that where it is?
It is, which is now called AMC Cinemas.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it had been Carmike at one time.
Okay.
And prior to that, I think it was even called something else. Changes its name so many times, kind of like that venue to the
Well, you
south
change
of
your
us.
underwear, right?
Kind of like
So many times.
Coral Sky
Oh yeah.
is now Vodka Theater.
Yeah, it's just, I call it the place to have concerts
I
on
know.
Southern Boulevard. You know,
And-
the heck with the name. The name's gone to the crapper.
Yeah.
So you got me going on a tangent this morning.
Maybe they'll just think of a venue and call that the new name. If I
Right.
get a venue, I'll call it the Crapper. Everybody's
the crapper, the
Come and have-
crapper amphitheater.
come have a great time at Crapper Theater.
Right? That'd
gonna
be a great place.
Have some commodians here.
Oh boy. Wow, we are really starting early. Well, welcome in, folks. It's 6:09 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. If you want to participate in the program, and if you're up this early in the morning with us like we are, we welcome your phone call to 220-9788. You never know what we might just give away. I mean, I've got the farm to give away today, for gosh sakes.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we had that lovely lady call from Hutchinson Island yesterday, and she won some barn theater tickets with us.
Mhm.
When I think of Hutchinson Island, Evan, and this part of the morning,
Yeah.
you know, that was the first place that I moved when I moved here from Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
I was able to move in with a young lady who was also in radio by the name of Michael Lane. So we shared a condo out that way. And I remember this.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
you there.
Okay.
So Michael Lane, and that means that you all lived on Bonnie Avenue. Get it? Michael Lane,
yeah.
Bonnie Avenue. Okay.
There might be one out there after all this time.
Okay.
But I just remember waking up at this part of the morning and all of the walkers and pedestrians that enjoy the island, you know, on the sidewalks by the ocean and go out to the beach and walking across the causeway. I kind of miss that oceanside life a little bit.
Okay.
We used to go out to walk the beach and go down to Shuckers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shuckers is a great place.
I think it was only maybe a half a mile to a mile from us down the beach. So we
Mhm.
would walk that way.
Okay.
And then I think there was a place out there too called Strawberries, where we always went to enjoy some ice cream on the island.
Okay.
And there's also a pizza place out there that's very good too, where they only serve wine and beer. What is the name of that place? It's very, very popular.
You realize we're giving away free advertisement.
I know.
You realize that, Bonnie.
I'm just like categorizing.
I mean, you may as well since you've already started, you may as well just name every other business on the island.
I might as well, I better not leave anybody out this morning.
No. I mean, you're giving out free advertising. The show's going to the crapper now.
Oh, right.
Man.
The memories of the beach. The only thing about living in the condos, Evan, was it was a little bit hard with your grocery shopping when you come home. You know, you have to park the car below and bring your groceries onto the elevator and bring them up to the floor that you're at. That was kind of inconvenient.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for?
Inconvenient, maybe.
No, there's another word. Can't think of it.
Lousy.
No, keep going.
Of course, it wasn't too lousy opening up your windows and having a view of the ocean.
No, but that's the bad part about
morning.
living in those tall condos is when you go to the grocery store and you've got like 20 bags and then you have to get them all upstairs and you live on the 20th floor. That means that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I like the setup of townhouses a lot. And I think even Pat Seiko has said it on his show, how people come down to Florida and usually to retire. And
I'm not retiring anytime soon. I'll tell you that right now.
Because you're going to live till you're 120.
Well, I don't know about 120. I want to live. Honestly, I really want to live till I'm 90. I want to get to 90. I want to get beyond where my father was. My father almost made it to 87. So I want to get to I want to get to that far. That's the way I look at it.
You have like a lot of living to do then.
Yeah, my life's just begun.
Yeah, that's the good attitude.
It's only just begun.
And
who did that song? Carpenters?
That was.
Yeah, Karen Carpenter.
Yeah. What a lovely voice on her, huh?
Can you sing a few bars of that?
No.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna if anybody has the melody in their head right now, I'm not gonna even try to sing like her and ruin it for them.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin that good flowing tune.
Okay.
I can't even get close to her note, Evan.
All right. So I have some interesting news from the showbiz side of things. Do you watch the show Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, Bonnie, by any chance?
I try. I love them both, and I try to watch them when I can. I say we're bigger viewers lately of The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal. But I've visited those shows. I used to be a wheel watcher.
Oh, okay.
Where I'd watch every night, and I think I had something going online where I could get their phrase of the day.
Yeah.
And go type it in and have a chance to win something.
Gotcha. Well, there's not so good news for fans of the show. No, Alex Trebek did not pass away, but they're going to be taping the show without studio audiences.
Naturally, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they want to protect Alex Trebek first off because he's battling the stage 4 pancreatic cancer and has a compromised immune system. So there's a magazine reporting out that both shows audiences typically skew older people, and older people are more subtle to this virus. So therefore, they're going to be taping the show in front of no studio audience at all whatsoever.
Yeah, that one makes sense. And the shows that I mentioned now, they couldn't do that on The Price is Right, where Drew Carey has to have contestants come up out of the audience.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to call somebody, come on down?
Yeah.
What are you going to call, a seat down? Think about that.
Maybe they could do it some way where they'd have it on monitors and people would be in like
quarantine rooms
in other rooms.
Could you imagine doing The Price is Right from a quarantine room?
It would be weird now, wouldn't it?
Right.
Oh, I would hate to think that anything like that would be coming.
I guarantee if you watch the show now, you will see nobody hugging Drew Carey anymore on air.
Yeah.
That's going to go away. All that stuff is going to go away.
Who's our guy that couldn't do that? Could you see Howie Mandel having to do
he's a germaphobe.
Yeah.
Forget it.
He couldn't be like on Let's Make a Deal.
Could you imagine if remember the Family Feud and Richard Dawson used to host the show and he would kiss every girl?
How did he get away with that?
Well, he kissed every girl. Could you imagine if he was hosting the show today?
That dog. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'd be like kissing everybody today. That was like in the the 1970s, like that he hosted Family Feud, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. He did, whether it was a young female, whether it was an old granny, a middle-aged lady, a transvestite, he would be kissing. He would
he
be
didn't
kissing
care.
her.
He didn't care what you were, who you were, or how you were. He would kiss you. He don't care. He would kiss a dog on the snout.
Just call him the kissing fish.
Right? There you go. Does the name Barry Bonds ring a bell to you?
Baseball player,
Yeah,
right?
Barry Bonds still holds the all-time home run record at 762. So will he ever make it into the Hall of Fame, Bonnie? What do you think?
He did have that many home runs, right? He had some steroid use that was alleged. Was it alleged?
It was alleged, but here's the deal. He's giving up hope of getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Do you think he should be in there, Evan? Your note?
Honestly, I think Pete Rose should be in there. So if I think Pete Rose should be in there, I think Barry Bonds should be in there.
Yeah, I'm kind of sliding that way too. I'm just like, if it was alleged and he did have the most home runs, is that just what you said?
Yeah.
Then I'll allow him in at this point.
Here's the thing. He's been on the Hall of Fame ballot every year since 2013, and only 61% of baseball writers voted for him this year. He needs to get at least 75% to get in, and only has 2 more chances. And he's off the ballot for good after that.
Wow. Well, now, like, who was it? The bicycle rider, Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Now, his use of the steroids and things to enhance his performance on the bike, that was proved, right?
Yeah.
So and I know that he had like 5 titles that were actually stripped. Whereas maybe I'm wrong, but I think with Barry Bonds, it was more maybe alleged, and maybe did he admit to one enhancement drug, or maybe?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know who Charles Barkley is, right?
Oh, he was with the Phoenix Suns.
Right. He's the basketball player.
I had a jersey that said Barkley on the back of the Suns.
I actually have an autographed jersey framed in my home from when he played on the Olympic team.
Oh, you do?
Yes, it's sitting. I'm surprised you didn't notice it when you were over when we first started planning our morning show. But Charles says that he's planning to sell a bunch of his old memorabilia and use the money to build affordable housing in Leeds, Alabama, where he grew up. So I think that's a great idea. He's going to sell a lot of his memorabilia.
Oh, good for Charles Barkley then.
Yeah, definitely so.
That's a nice gesture.
Doing a good thing there, doing a good deed.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Who else is in the news? Brantley Gilbert has partnered with the Farmer Veteran Coalition on his tours. They help our nation's veterans find work in agriculture instead of outsourcing the catering for a staff and crew. He's buying everything locally, and anything that's left over stays local and for those who need it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really nice that he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep it, give it a local feel, so to speak. Bonnie.
Yeah, like let's produce it, build it, and buy it right here, right?
Right. If they build it, they will come, they say, right?
Yeah. I see. I saw in the news last night too with that coronavirus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young brides-to-be that are worried about getting their wedding gowns now on time.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of these gowns are made in China.
Right.
So our conversation last night was, well, let's build it right here.
Yeah.
Keep it right here.
Design it right here in the good old USA. 6:20 right now, the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news brought to you by Discovery Senior Living. Bonnie has the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The Florida Department of Health is issuing new guidelines for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus.
New policy, anyone who traveled internationally to any location is being urged to self-isolate. That is, stay home for 14 days following their return. More specifically, anyone who traveled on a cruise of Egypt's Nile River during the month of February should also spend 14 days in isolation after their return. While the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Florida is relatively low for now, it is expected to spike once more test kits are deployed across the state. I'm Rory O'Neill.
5 members of the Florida House and a legislative staff member are agreeing to self-quarantine after attending events in Washington, D.C. last month that also were attended by people who have tested positive for the coronavirus. The announcement from Speaker Jose Oliva halted a House session. Public galleries were cleared out and maintenance crews wiped down desks and sanitized the chamber. President Trump has meetings planned at the White House today over coronavirus. The president flew back to Washington after a lunch hour fundraiser and roundtable at the home of a businessman in Longwood near Orlando. In Tallahassee, the House on Monday overwhelmingly approved a plan that would expand school vouchers in Florida. Bill supporters, including Representatives James Bush, says the plan allows parents to make education choices that they think are best for their children.
Honorable thing to give parents and empower parents an opportunity to be able to put their children in places where it is safe, where it is conducive for teaching and learning.
Critics say lawmakers should focus on doing a better job funding public schools. The bill now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill has been approved by committees. Gas prices should sink below $2 a gallon in some parts of Florida this week due to plummeting crude oil prices, as coronavirus concerns have led to a lower global demand for jet fuel and gasoline. AAA pegs the current statewide average at $2.27 a gallon. Only one city in Florida is among the 20 happiest cities in the United States. A list from Wallet Hub based on factors including rates of depression and income growth puts Cape Coral at number 20. Because of high demand, Publix is putting a limit of 2 on the number of certain items customers can buy for coronavirus-related protection. This includes hand soaps, sanitizers, rubbing alcohol, masks and gloves, and disinfectant wipes. Governor Ron DeSantis is updating the state's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The governor says the vast majority of Floridians won't face serious health complications.
However, it's pretty clear that as people get older, and particularly those people that have a serious underlying medical condition, those are the people who are the most at risk to have serious negative consequences from this virus, including death.
DeSantis is issuing a state of emergency declaration to better coordinate the state's response to the coronavirus. The University of Florida sent a memo Monday evening to its professors telling them to move their classes online, effective immediately. And in St. Lucie County, fire officials have just canceled all of their station open houses until further notice because of the coronavirus. When you have something like this come along, the same thing we did for H1N1 and Ebola, we take additional precautions and develop an incident action plan, said Captain Richard Hall with St. Lucie Fire Rescue. Hall says his EMTs have N95 masks and gowns that they can put on for protection. If fire rescue transports someone they believe may have been infected with the coronavirus, they have a way to disinfect and decontaminate the truck. They have a device called the Aeroclave that sprays a mist throughout the vehicle. In Martin County, Bureau Chief of Rescue Chris Camel with Martin County Fire Rescue says their dispatchers have been asking enhanced questions of 911 callers for several weeks. Camel says as first responders, this is what they do: deal with people who are sick and injured. This time, there's a new factor. All first responders stress you can do your part by following the guidelines from state and federal health officials to keep that virus from spreading. It's 6:25, our news time now. The Major League Baseball from last night, the Phillies beat the New York Yankees 3-1. St. Louis Cardinals over Minnesota Twins 3-0. And Houston Astros over Detroit Tigers 2-1. Toronto Blue Jays beat Pittsburgh Pirates 3-1. It was a tie 1-1 with Miami Marlins and New York Mets yesterday. Toronto Blue Jays over Tampa Bay Rays 8-3. And it was the Chicago White Sox in a tie with the Cincinnati Reds 3-3. Boston Red Sox 2-1 over Atlanta Braves. Los Angeles Angels fall by 1 run to Cleveland Indians 11-10. And Milwaukee Brewers beat the Seattle Mariners by a score of 2-1. And NBA, Toronto Raptors over Utah Jazz 101-92 yesterday. The Denver Nuggets over the Milwaukee Bucks 109-95. News time is 6:26, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$6:27, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Nice Tuesday morning for us here, Evan. The roads are nice and clear. US 1, the major highways are so far so good. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 70 in Stewart. It's 68 degrees in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, scattered rainfall is moving in from the coast and will create some wet roads, warmer temperatures along the coast than inland this morning. This afternoon, warm and breezy with high temperatures in the upper 70s and breezy winds out of the southeast. Some fast showers are possible moving in from the coast, and skies will feature a mix of sun and clouds.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Let's not get carried away.
We never get carried away on the morning show too much, do we, Bonnie?
Oh, we never do that, Evan.
No.
We're never guilty of such a matter.
Not at all.
It would be out of this world.
Yeah.
They would have to send us to another planet with Randy Siegel.
I was just thinking that. That wouldn't be good.
If you could pick a planet in the universe, which one would you want to travel to?
Oh boy, could I have fun with that answer.
Okay.
I could have a lot of fun with that answer, but I won't.
I don't even know what you were thinking.
Yeah, I just don't want. I would just say to the moon.
I would probably go to Pluto just to see.
Pluto.
Yeah, because isn't that the one where it came under all that fire and controversy? So many years growing up, they told us it was a planet, Evan.
Okay.
And now it is crushed down to something more minuscule than a planet. Like they weren't considering it one after all this time.
All right.
We were just taught, from way back when, that it is a planet and the smallest one that's there.
You can't see it with the naked eye, though, like the moon.
Oh, you're right. I wonder if you can even see it with a telescope.
Don't know.
I don't know because I never got into that, telescopes.
Maybe we should call the local planetarium and find out if it's possible.
Maybe we should just kind of party out at the island one night and
have a few beers, and you'll be seeing Pluto somewhere. That's for sure, right?
Yeah,
or you'll be seeing an imaginary planet.
We'll be seeing the man on the moon and a big head of cheese up there. The moon will be really looking like cheese to us.
There's some viral videos that are making their rounds around social media, and I wanted to touch on them today. One of them, if I personally had a choice between getting a few bucks back on a refund or saving myself from dying in a fire, I'd go with saving myself. But there's a woman that didn't. She's parked at the drive-thru of a Burger King demanding a refund while the building is on fire. Okay, the building's on fire. She's demanding a refund. I mean, it gives a whole new meaning to flame-broiled burgers, but people are telling her to leave. And when she finally pulls away, she gets out of the car and yells at the employees to give her the refund. Then it's a shouting match and name-calling and insults and cussing and this and that and the other, all because she wanted a refund because I guess her flame-broiled burger went up in smoke.
Oh, boy. Do you ever notice that a lot of these controversies and these fights and people acting improperly, a lot of it revolves around these fast food places and people getting their food?
Yeah.
A lot of hangry people in the crowd these days.
Definitely so.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen guys do that, guys sometimes can get hungry like a bear and then they get pretty agitated.
I get like that every now and then.
Do you too?
I do. There's a woman in Pennsylvania who posted a video of a conversation with her 4-year-old daughter. Now, the girl doesn't want anyone to know that her mom got her breasts pierced, or in the girl's words, earrings in your boobies, so to speak. The conversation is very cute. Let's listen in here.
There's nowhere I feel.
What do you think?
Please, can show me. I won't tell anybody.
You won't tell anybody what?
That I have earrings on your boobie.
That is so cute.
That's kind of cute, but I'm kind of am I being prudish when I say this?
No, go ahead.
Why would you even, how was that, a 4-year-old?
As a 4-year-old.
Why would you even let your 4-year-old little girl know about that?
Don't know. Maybe the lady came out of the shower and the girl walked in and, the little girl thinks, well, you're only supposed to have earrings in your ears. And then the lady has her breast pierced.
I mean, maybe I'm too serious in the morning, Evan, but cute little girl and what she was saying, but it's just sounding to me a little bit distasteful.
Okay.
A little bit distasteful with that.
Yeah,
one.
it's a little, a little over the top, possibly. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has different opinions on things.
Yeah.
It's not prudish.
No, people just raise their kids differently, I guess.
Some people put their kids on social media everywhere. My oldest son chooses not to put Ashton on social media. If they do put him on social media, they show the backside of him, the back of his head, but they won't put his face on social media anywhere.
That's why when I used to take my bonus kids out to the playground in parks, I tried to like look at other people and other parents and their kids around and not run up with my cell phone to take that picture so fast, because I mean, to get the other kids in the picture, without I try not to. I kind of respect that, not taking a picture of other people's kids,
Yeah.
maybe without asking first,
Yeah.
because social media is just so out there, and maybe some people do have that feeling of, well, maybe I don't want my kids on it.
Bonnie, there's a lot of facts that have just come out from a report that I was reading online this morning before we went on the air. And I'm going to go over them with you, and I'd love to get your comments on these things. So first off, did you know that 7% of us have a fear of wearing bowling shoes when they go bowling?
Oh, yeah, a fear of it. I don't really have a fear of it. I just don't like the way that hard edge bowling shoe feels below my ankle.
Okay.
How do you? I mean, can you relate to that?
How are you going to bowl without bowling shoes?
I guess.
I mean, you can't bowl without bowling shoes. You can't wear sneakers because there's no sliding on the sneaker because you have a rubber sole.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe you could wear socks.
Can't wear socks. You'll slide and fall on your derriere, or as they say, your arse.
Maybe the sock. I mean, with the shoes, there's a little bit of a slide. There's a little bit of a slide, but maybe your socks, you would slide too far with that bowling action.
You ever get in a down mood and always wonder how you can make yourself feel better?
Yes.
Well, did you know that doodling can lift your spirits in as little as 5 minutes?
Doodling?
Doodling.
Yeah.
Just doodle. Doodle here, doodle there, doodle everywhere.
You're right, Evan. In fact, they have coloring books for adults.
Yeah.
And I saw color by number for adults when I was out to the store.
Right.
A lot of people will get that and start using that in coloring for kind of like an emotional release to lift them up a little bit.
Now, did you also know that research shows that dimming the lights reduces the risk of having a fight with your partner?
It does?
It does. So next time you and Gary get in a disagreement, just turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Turn the lights off.
And then I'll light a candle.
Light a candle. Reduce the lights, and it reduces the risk of having an argument with your significant other.
And then when you light that candle, it should be that lavender smell, because lavender sets your emotions. It
True.
Gets you more at an even keel.
True. Bonnie, did you know that a recent study found that 73% of people sleep with their smartphone? They sleep with their smartphone.
I have a hunch that you're sleeping with yours.
I don't. I do not sleep with my smartphone. My smartphone goes on the nightstand, on the charger, and it goes on silent every night that I go to bed. And the only time that phone will ring is when one of my emergency contacts calls me that I have set up. And that's the 4 kids and the wife. And that's it. So if they have to call me and the phone is on silent, the phone will physically ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that set up like that.
So anybody else that calls, though,
it's silent.
You bought that new phone, Evan. It's so high priced. I thought you would be sleeping with it with your arm around it at night.
No, not at all. Did you know the average person will buy a gift for someone they don't like about 4 times before the end of the year?
For
4 times. Somebody they don't like.
What?
Yeah.
Are you going to do that? Do you ever do that?
I'm not buying my ex-wife anything.
I'm
sorry. I didn't mean to say that, but I'm just not buying her anything.
I mean, I
shouldn't say I don't like her.
Yeah.
I dislike certain things. That's all I'm going to say. Don't get me on a rant.
Maybe I wonder if some of these people are like doing that maybe because they got in a fight with them or annoyed them somehow. So maybe they have a guilty conscience and think that maybe they should buy them a gift or do something special.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Bonnie, did you know that a recent survey finds that 27% of people only clean the inside of their car before they go on a road trip?
Only 27%.
Only 27% clean their car before they go on a road trip.
I'm surprised with that.
Did you also know 39% of people say a mattress was their latest big money purchase? Not mine.
Mattress was my latest.
Was it?
Well, a bed was. We bought a really fancy.
Mine wasn't. Mine was my phone.
Oh, that's right.
That was my big money purchase. That was a birthday gift to myself. Did you also know, Bonnie, every day in the United States, 5 bicycle riders are injured riding into an open car door. Now,
Yeah.
that's stupidity. I'm sorry. But if you're riding a bike and you ride into a car door that's open, that's stupidity.
Maybe those city riders, when there are car doors open like all over the place. But
Yeah.
if you're venturing out in the country, not too likely to do that.
No. Did you also know the most common trigger for road rage is tailgating? And a recent study says that millennials could make tipping a thing of the past, with 10% of millennials currently not doing it. 10% of millennials don't tip.
Well, maybe those 10% of millennials never worked for tips.
No.
I mean,
I don't know. I just went out to dinner the other night with the wife. We went and had a great steak dinner. I was telling you, I tipped the waitress $20.
yeah, if we were going out to eat and if we couldn't afford to tip
Mhm.
or decided not to tip, I would say, well, then we're just going to stay home.
Yeah,
I don't believe in not tipping.
you have to tip.
Yeah,
It's a must.
that's-
It's a service. You're being provided a service. You should tip.
absolutely.
Did you know the average person goes gray 4 years sooner than compared to 40 years ago? How about that one? Your eyes just perked up a little bit.
You know what? I'm pretty proud of this one. There was a girl at work that was. We were in the break room the other day, and she was looking at my forehead and
Mhm.
looking at my hair, and she said, "I'm surprised that you're not gray."
Yeah, I was just noticing you have not one gray hair on your head.
I think I do, though. I think there's one
Stick
strand.
with me for a while longer on the morning show. Guarantee you'll be gray by the end of the year.
There's actually, Evan, there's one strand of hair, but I always say I think it's from
Can I pull it out?
a while back when I
Can
was
I just
painting.
reach over there and pull it out?
Yeah, please do.
All right, we'll
I
do
was
that.
painting some white, I think I was painting the tiling, the white tiles in my house,
Okay.
and I think I got a little bit of white paint streaks up there.
All right.
So that's what that is. Really?
Did you know that almost 50% of Americans lie when they go to the doctor? They lie. They lie about what's wrong.
I can believe that.
Yeah. And did
Yeah.
you also know that on average, we buy a new smartphone every year and a half? And also, 41 is the average age when people start taking vitamins in order to get healthy. Wow. These are astounding facts.
Not till age 41.
Yeah, at age 41.
Yeah, and you buy that cell phone. Do that upgrade of that cell phone. They said every year and a half. Most
Yeah,
people
something
do
like
it.
that. Something like that.
Do you fall into that category?
I just do it when I feel like it, when I get a wild hair,
Yeah, I'm going
which
to
is not too many.
get a phone this week, and
What kind of phone are you going to get?
I'm going to get my Android again.
You're not going to get an iPhone?
No, I'm fine with
All right.
my text on my phone as long as I have
Okay.
GPS when I go on a trip.
All right.
Sometimes I have to find people during massage too. It's come good for me when I get some outside customers and things like that. I just need it for basic and to call you and to get messages from you too, Evan.
Oh, sure. No problem.
I got a nice phone call yesterday.
Did you? Wasn't for me, though.
A gentleman that I've known for years, my friend John, invited me out to lunch tomorrow.
Oh.
So we're gonna
I
go.
hope Gary doesn't get jealous.
No,
You have a
John.
man. You have a man asking you to take you to lunch.
He's
Okay.
been kind of like my uncle.
Okay.
He's been like an Uncle John to me.
Uncle John.
For many, many years.
All
I've
right.
known John here. So
Okay.
actually, Gary has come out to lunch, or he'll come. Me and Gary take him out to dinner on occasions too. That's how good of a friend he is.
All right. Lastly, did you know that 8% of men would give up lovemaking for more hair?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do that. I mean, I barely have any, hair on the dome, but
Then those are the guys that wear the hats. My cousin too, when he started to, lose some of his hair,
Mhm.
men get kind of frenzied about that
Yeah.
one.
It doesn't bother me. My wife just texted me. She says, "Did you turn off the ocean sounds this morning?"
Oh,
And I did not. I didn't touch anything. In fact, the ocean was still cranking away when I got up at 4:00 this morning.
maybe that ghost is still
The
in your
ocean sounds.
house.
I don't know.
That ghost is still hanging around.
I have no idea. It's time now, 6:45. It's time for news, all brought to you by the all-new Alfa Romeo Maserati Stewart. Come experience a state-of-the-art dealership, an unsurpassed selection of luxury performance vehicles. The rich heritage of Italian motoring is within reach. Let them make your dream of driving an Alfa Romeo or Maserati come true. Alfa Romeo and Maserati Stewart, located at 3980 Southeast Federal Highway in Stewart. Online, alfaromeostewart.com, MaseratiStewart.com. Luxury legacy. It's time for the headlines this morning. Here's Bonnie from the news desk.
The Florida Department of Health is issuing new guidelines for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus.
Under the new policy, anyone who traveled internationally to any location is being urged to self-isolate. That is, stay home for 14 days following their return. More specifically, anyone who traveled on a cruise of Egypt's Nile River during the month of February should also spend 14 days in isolation after their return. While the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Florida is relatively low for now, it is expected to spike once more test kits are deployed across the state. I'm Rory O'Neill.
5 members of the Florida House and a legislative staff member are agreeing to self-quarantine after attending events in Washington, D.C. last month that also were attended by people who have tested positive for the coronavirus. The announcement from Speaker Jose Oliva halted a House session. Public galleries were cleared out and maintenance crews wiped down desks and sanitized the chamber. President Trump has meetings planned at the White House today over coronavirus. The president flew back to Washington after a lunch hour fundraiser and roundtable at the home of a businessman in Longwood near Orlando. In Tallahassee, the House on Monday overwhelmingly approved a plan that would expand school vouchers in Florida. Bill supporters, including Representative James Bush, say the plan allows parents to make education choices that they think are best for their children.
Honorable thing to give parents and empower parents an opportunity to be able to put their children in places where it is safe, where it is conducive for teaching and learning.
Critics say lawmakers should focus on doing a better job funding public schools. The bill now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill has been approved by committees. Governor Ron DeSantis is updating the state's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The governor says the vast majority of Floridians won't face serious health complications.
However, it's pretty clear that as people get older, and particularly those people that have a serious underlying medical condition, those are the people who are the most at risk to have serious negative consequences from this virus, including death.
DeSantis is issuing a state of emergency declaration to better coordinate the state's response to the coronavirus. The University of Florida sent a memo Monday evening to its professors, telling them to move their classes online effective immediately. Shortly before 4 a.m. on Monday, 3 masked men with handguns robbed an arcade west of White City, according to St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. The men entered Midway Arcade on 25th Street and ordered customers playing the casino-style games to the ground before taking an undisclosed amount of money and leaving, a press release stated. Witnesses reportedly said there was nothing remarkable about the 3 men that would help identify them. They left in what detectives believed was a gray, older Buick Century. Video surveillance is still being processed, a sheriff's officer spokesman said. He said it was not the first time the gambling arcade had been robbed. There were no injuries, and the men didn't fire their weapons, the spokesman said. Anyone with information about the armed robbery should contact detectives at 772-462-3230. And a Fort Pierce man and a woman were shot Monday afternoon and taken to the hospital. The shooting activity happened in the 800 block of North 32nd Street around 4:45 in the afternoon. Fort Pierce police are working to identify possible shooting suspects in the case. People who live in the area say they are becoming more concerned about gun violence in the area, saying shootings seem to be happening more frequently. At least 8 people have been shot in Fort Pierce since early December. And only one city in Florida is among the 20 happiest cities in the United States. A list from Wallet Hub based on factors including rates of depression and income growth puts Cape Coral at number 20. And because of high demand, Publix is putting a limit of 2 on the number of certain items customers can buy for coronavirus-related protection, and that includes hand soaps, sanitizers, rubbing alcohol, masks and gloves, and disinfectant wipes. National hockey action from last night. The Florida Panthers win. They beat the St. Louis Blues 2-1. The Colorado Avalanche fall to the Los Angeles Kings by a score of 3-1. In Major League Baseball, we have the Milwaukee Brewers beating Seattle Mariners 2-1. Los Angeles Angels lost to the Cleveland Indians only by 1, 11-10. Boston Red Sox beat Atlanta Braves 2-1. And it was the Chicago White Sox tying with the Cincinnati Reds yesterday, 3-3. Toronto Blue Jays on top over Tampa Bay Rays, 8-3. A tie, 1-1. It was New York Mets, Miami Marlins in that one. Toronto Blue Jays beat Pittsburgh 3-1. Houston Astros over the Detroit Tigers 2-1. And the St. Louis Cardinals over Minnesota Twins 3-0. The New York Yankees got beat by the Phillies 3-1 yesterday. News time is 6:52. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
.653 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
We have a nice morning here on our roads for Stuart. Port St. Lucie, the ride is nice for you this morning. No accidents, no slowdowns. There's your latest look at traffic. In Port St. Lucie, it's 68. And here's our forecast at WPTV.
Morning here on the Treasure Coast. Scattered rainfall is moving in from the coast and will create some wet roads. Warmer temperatures along the coast than inland this morning. This afternoon, warm and breezy with high temperatures in the upper 70s and breezy winds out of the southeast. Some fast showers are possible moving in from the coast, and skies will feature a mix of sun and clouds.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give them a call at any time, 772-220-WSTU. That's 772-220-9788. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go Show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
You know, Bunny, I have some more staggering did you know facts. Did you know that an alarm clock is one of the top 3 inventions we say we hate but can't live without? Did you know that?
Well, now we can.
Yeah.
When the good old iPhone did come around, we no longer need the actual alarm
I
clock.
don't even use an alarm clock anymore. It just sits by my bed. Did you know that 54% of teens have driven their parents' car without a license and without their parents knowing it?
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay. And did you also know that 21% of people display books in their home or office because they think it makes them look smarter?
When I was at your house, I looked around a little bit, but I can't remember seeing any books.
Nope. No books out in my house.
Too dusty for you, huh?
Yes. Did you also know that 58% of people say that forgetting where they parked is the most embarrassing thing to happen involving their cars?
Yeah.
How about that one?
Yeah, it is.
You ever done that? You ever gone and tried to find your car and it's gone? It's not there. You wonder where the heck did it go?
Oh yeah, I did that one time. It was at the mall too, Evan. It was at the mall because you know how you go in, and it might have been like a J.C. Penney.
Yep.
You know how you go in 3 or 4 different doors.
Yep.
You don't know if you're on north side, south side, east side, or west side.
Nope.
I went to the wrong parking lot looking for the car.
We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station.
the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Doing up so early.
This is insane. It's insane.
It's not insane. It's a job.
Call that a job? A job?
It's not really a job.
Okay, then.
What is it exactly that you do?
I entertain the masses. The masses? Do I look like the masses?
Close enough.
Well, you best get to being entertaining. It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Well, what is it exactly you do, Bonnie, as the person said? Tell me.
What do I do?
What do you do?
Do about what?
I don't know. It just says, what is it exactly that you do? So I'm just throwing the question your way.
I don't know. What
do you do in the morning here?
What do
Tell me what you do.
Oh, there was like a
if
question.
you had to describe somebody, describe what you do. Somebody walked up to you, a total stranger, and you got to talking to them, and you told them that you're you do morning radio, you're a co-host.
Yeah.
And they asked you what exactly you do. What would you say? What would your answer be?
I would say that I'm a co-host on radio, and I've been in radio for some, I don't want to give my age away with the years, many years.
Okay.
And
then they ask you, what do you do on the show?
And that I'm a massage therapist.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the radio show, though.
What do I, well,
what do you do on the show?
I provide entertainment
I'm putting
value.
You on the spot. There, that's the answer I'm looking for. That's the answer I'm looking for. You provide entertainment value. So you're an entertainment value provider.
And a smile in the morning.
Yes.
And I want to make people smile.
Yeah. I wasn't having a good day when I came in today.
Okay.
I was having a pretty, I guess I could say the C word, right? We said it last hour.
Cruddy day, you could say.
Yeah, I was having a cruddy day.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Yeah,
really.
I was having a cruddy day. And then all of a sudden it just kind of perked up a little bit.
Yeah, you got perky all of a sudden.
I perked up a little bit.
Yeah.
As they say.
And I think you too, Evan, it should make you smile that you also put a smile on people's faces when they listen.
Especially when they take us in the bathroom with us, with them, like that one couple did. They that I'm trying to get them to send me their information so I can get them to come in and play the saxophone.
Wow.
They say they have Alexa in their bathroom, and they take Alexa. So I wonder if I could I'm going to try something, because it's crazy that people are listening to us on Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say this. Hey, Alexa, pause, play ocean sounds. So now everybody that's listening to us on Alexa, their Alexa is now playing ocean sounds.
Nice.
Right now as we speak.
Yeah.
But then again, they lost the broadcast.
Yeah. But they have that nice ocean sound. So what the heck, hey?
Yeah. What the heck? Definitely. Wow.
I would like to go to the ocean and hear that real ocean sound this morning.
I have that every night when I go to sleep. And let me tell you, it's very, very, very relaxing.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Time for birthdays, anniversaries, and back in the day on this date. But before we go any further, as always, Bonnie, I have to ask you, do you have anybody celebrating a birthday today?
Yeah, there's a friendly face on my Facebook always, and her name is Terry Harbaugh. Friendly face, and Terry always appreciates when I put pictures of my kitty cats up, and she's always liking that. So in the area, I want to say happy birthday to
What's your
Miss
cat's name again?
Terry. Cat's name is Hansi.
I thought it was named something else.
And Jack Frosty.
That's it, Jack Frosty, because you have two kitties, right?
Two kitties.
Okay.
And Hansi was actually named after the bad guy on Die Hard.
I thought you named him after Fonzie from Happy Days.
Well, that's
Call him
my
Hansi.
that's my outtake on it. Gary named him Hans after the villain on Die Hard, and then with
Okay.
Hans, I tend to call him Hansi. Rhymes with Fonzie,
Okay.
as in Fonzarelli.
All right. How you doing? All right. Kitty, go. How you doing?
What's your doggy's name or kitty? You have a dog?
I have a dog, and my dog's name is Kaya. Kiyah.
Is that
Kaya.
Indian, like an Indian or Hawaiian
You'll
name?
have to ask. You'll have to ask my daughter.
Oh.
My daughter named our dog, and she also named her canine as well, Unum.
Unum.
Yes.
Well, she could have named it something different. She could have named it Kia and Uber.
That just. Where did that come from?
That didn't make any sense.
I can just see it now. All the listeners took their palm of their forehead, their palm, and just went bam like that, and said, "What was she thinking?"
I know.
But see, that's what makes the show funny when you just come out with the most off the wall things.
It's ridiculous.
No. Don't even go there. don't even say those words.
Yeah.
Don't say those words. I like to say off the wall.
Okay.
Because you do come out with some off the wall things, but it's funny in a good way. It's not embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Okay. Whatever
Okay.
you say, Evan.
No, it is. It's just funny.
Just a little off the chain.
That's
maybe.
it. That's it. You're missing a crayon in your Crayola box.
A
That's
link
all.
in the chain.
A link in the you're missing a link in the chain.
Yeah.
So now we have to go find the missing link.
Oh.
Do you like that?
Can we do that?
We can go find the missing link.
All right.
How about we just get up out of the studio? We have dead air. We call in on our cell phones and we conference. Oh, now that would be something interesting. You call in on one line, I call in on another line, and then we just go and walk out front and we broadcast from out front of the Palatial Studios for a few minutes.
Oh, wow. We forgot to do that. We considered that we would do that maybe on a Monday, on like
Yeah.
a Monday show and make people's Monday a little better.
Yeah.
But we have to bring donuts in, glazed
that's
donuts.
True. Glazed donuts.
Yeah, we need an offering when we go out there again, Evan.
Yeah, we have to have an offering. And
Yeah.
speaking of offering, I'm still waiting for somebody, a business, to donate $1,000.
I know.
And I'll broadcast in a Speedo. Okay. And maybe I'll even broadcast in a Speedo from outside on one of the segments.
Yeah.
For $1,000. I'll go right out front in a Speedo and do one of my segments out front in a Speedo, standing out front in a Speedo. And I'll donate the money to Speak Life the Musical.
I would be afraid you would be arrested, though. You'd be arrested because the police wouldn't even, passers-by might kind of veer their cars off the street.
Yeah, got to say good morning to Mike Watts. He's watching on our Facebook page. He's up bright and early. Patricia Overbeck in Ocala, Florida. I'm going to be coming to their humble abode here in a couple of months, doing my good friend Janet's wedding in Ocala, Florida. I'm looking forward to that.
I
The
love that
forest is
area.
gorgeous up there.
It is.
Yeah, Patty and her husband David, I did their wedding. It's been so long ago that there's probably 10 inches of dust on the counter by now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been that long. It's been, Patty, if you're listening, if you could type to me how many years you've been married, or better yet, Patty, if you're listening, give us a call in the studio. I'd love to put you on the air and have a conversation with you. 772-220-9788. 772-220-9788. Without a
Ocala,
doubt.
isn't that by Apopka? Is that
Yeah, it's by
Apopka.
kind of that way. And just like I said about, when you said that comment, putting the hand on the forehead,
Yeah.
there's the emoji that comes through from the wife, the hand on the forehead.
I love it.
There you go. Absolutely
She
love
did it too, just as you were saying.
Yeah,
we were
definitely,
saying.
definitely so.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have birthdays. We got to get back on track here, Bonnie. You totally taking me off track.
I know.
Carrie Underwood, 37 years old today.
Carrie Underwood, now she is doing what a marvelous gal. She's doing
Yeah.
a number of things too. She has her hands in the pot of many things like Ryan Seacrest.
Mm-hmm.
She just wrote a book called Find Your Path.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she has a fitness app too. It's the Carrie Underwood 52 fitness app.
Oh.
If you want to get in shape like Carrie there.
Okay.
And 37, she's doing some marvelous things.
Superstar rapper producer Timbaland is 48 years old today. Joe Ham is 49. He used to be the bad boy Don Draper on Mad Men.
Oh yeah.
Paget Brewster is 51. That's Emily Prentice on Criminal Minds. Guarantee the wife knows who that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old is Emily?
51 years old. And
Yeah.
her real name is Paget Brewster.
Paget Brewster.
Paget Brewster.
I thought you were getting confused with Punky Brewster at first. No relation.
No, and let me tell you, I would not want to mess with her in a dark alley.
Oh my, is she tougher than, say, your daughter?
No, nobody's tougher than my daughter. That's all I got to say. Nobody can top my daughter. That's toughness at its best, tough as nails. Nina Cherry, remember her? She one-hit wonder, Buffalo Stance.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of remember that.
Yeah, Nina Cherry, 56. Pearl Jam bassist Jeff Ament is 57. Jasmine Guy, 58. That's Whitley on A Different World. Mitch Gayford is 59. That's the 1984 Olympic gold medalist who has two gymnastics techniques named after him, the Gaylord 2 and the Gaylord Flip.
Oh, is that a matter of fact?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Lance Burton, 60 years old today. He's that famous magician from Las Vegas.
Mhm.
Sharon Stone is 62 years old today. How about that one?
62, Sharon Stone is?
Yeah, and guess who's 63? Gene Simmons' wife, Shannon Tweed.
No kidding.
Yeah, she's also known as the softcore queen.
Do you remember their reality show with
I
Gene
loved
Simmons?
it. Yeah, that was a great show.
I like that too. I like it when they take these celebrities. I do enjoy like celebrity wife swap too once in a while. That's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine.
I would not want to do that in my household and swap out Rachel for somebody.
You wouldn't?
No,
You would never
absolutely not.
try that?
Could you imagine if we did celebrity radio host swap where you have to come stay at my house for a week and Rachel has to come stay at your house for a week? You would not survive past one day.
You don't think so?
No, you would not survive at all. I'm telling you, I am the hardest person to live with.
But you would be gone all the time, right?
Yeah, that's true. But when I'm home, it's my wife will attest to that. I am like one of the hardest people to live with.
Oh, then I would just go hide in my room. But then, of course, I guess if we did that, we'd have to have some sort of a rules change. But
Yeah.
no, I would be coming into your home as the housewife, so
Right.
I would be the one to make the rules change.
No, that's not how things
So
roll.
I would send you to your room after a
No,
while.
sorry, that's not how we roll. No, we have a 50-50 agreement. We both set the rules in the house.
But you have to play by the rules if you play wife swap.
This is
You see,
true. This
yeah.
is true. And I don't know what the rules would be.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, needless to say. Chuck Norris is 80 years old today. Chuck Norris, that's a big name out there.
80. He's 80
years old today.
Incredible.
Yeah. Remember the group Jan and Dean? Well, Dean Torrance is 80 years old also.
Jan and Dean wasn't one of those guys. Then Dean was the one that died on Dead Man's Curve, or did they? I think one of those.
Well, no,
or not
Dean is
died.
80. He's not dead.
No, he didn't die. He was in a huge crash where he recovered.
Right.
I think he recovered from the crash. Right.
Yep.
And then they did the song Dead Man's Curve.
Yep, there you go. Today is also National Pack Your Lunch Day. Did you pack your lunch?
I didn't.
I did. Mine's right back there on the seat.
What's for lunch today, Evan?
Well, no, it's my breakfast.
Okay.
It's my breakfast. It's a breakfast bowl with a yogurt and a container of orange juice.
Very healthy.
Yes.
Very healthy for sure.
Yes. 7 days from today, it's St. Patrick's Day. And in it's in 22 days?
22 days.
Yeah, I
Let's
can't
see.
wait for that.
Easter?
This day. No, keep going.
Easter?
No, keep going.
Would it be not Memorial Day
Nope,
already?
keep going. Keep guessing.
What, 4th of July?
Nope.
No, that's way, way, way beyond yonder.
Hold on. Wait, I got to do this. Bam. Okay.
Well, you had me guessing, so
That's all
I'm
right.
just
That's
coming
all right.
up with
That's all right. You come up random.
coming
random
up
days.
random things now.
22 days. Now think
oh,
what
it's
month it is in 22 days.
April Fool's Day.
There you go,
Yeah.
Bonnie.
See, I missed that
I
one.
knew you would get it. See? All right. Very
That's
good.
not my favorite holiday. It's just like
Oh, it's
April
mine.
Fools. Who cares?
It's mine.
Except for when you get fooled.
And boy, I can't wait to get you. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come in and look at my seat for a whoopee cushion in the morning.
You're going to need to look at a lot more things than your seat. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Oh, you know what happened yesterday?
What?
So, I thought I was in the break room at work, and I'm looking up at the computer, and I'm about to eat my food,
Mhm.
and I see what I think is a very huge roach, a cockroach.
Oh boy.
So they probably have me on camera doing it, Evan. So I'm looking at this thing.
Right.
I'm looking at it. It's not moving, but
You're
boy,
having a staring contest with a cockroach.
yeah, boy, does it look real. And I'm waiting for it to flutter, to just crawl away real fast. So
Okay.
I go in the drawer and I take a pen and I try to stab at it.
Okay.
Okay, this thing isn't moving.
You took a stab at it.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody put a fake, one of those creepy
Did they
crawler,
really?
a creepy crawler thing
They
there.
put a fake cockroach in.
the break room.
I would have paid big money to see that.
I want
That just gave me an idea for April Fool's Day.
okay.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how many managers are on camera watching people in the break room. And for the longest time I was having a stare down with this thing.
Bonnie, please tell me you didn't have a stare down with a cockroach. You had a stare down with a cockroach? Did you really? Oh my.
Just like,
Wow.
oh, I'm just like,
I've heard it all.
Is that thing real?
I've heard it all. A stare down with a
It
cockroach.
looks so real, you know. It looks so real, Evan.
Wow. Okay, that gives me material to talk about.
Okay.
7:21 right now, the Get Up and Go Show. It's time for news brought to you by Discovery Senior Living. Bonnie is standing by from the not-so-cockroach-infested news desk.
We hope there's none.
I know, right? Take it away, Bonnie.
And Evan, the Florida Department of Health is issuing new guidelines for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus.
Under the new policy, anyone who traveled internationally to any location is being urged to self-isolate. That is, stay home for 14 days following their return. More specifically, anyone who traveled on a cruise of Egypt's Nile River during the month of February should also spend 14 days in isolation after their return. While the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Florida is relatively low for now, it is expected to spike once more test kits are deployed across the state. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The Florida Department of Health confirmed a new case of coronavirus in Broward County on Tuesday morning, raising Florida's total number of cases to 20. The patient is a 69-year-old woman who is linked to Port Everglades. And thank you for that announcement, Evan. In Tallahassee, the House on Monday overwhelmingly approved a plan that would expand school vouchers in Florida. Bill supporters, including Representative James Bush, says the plan allows parents to make education choices that they think are best for their children.
Honorable thing to give parents and empower parents an opportunity to be able to put their children in places where it is safe, where it is conducive for teaching and learning.
Critics say lawmakers should focus on doing a better job funding schools. The bill now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill has been approved by committees. Governor Ron DeSantis is updating the state's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The governor says the vast majority of Floridians won't face serious health complications.
However, it's pretty clear that as people get older, and particularly those people that have a serious underlying medical condition, those are the people who are the most at risk to have serious negative consequences from this virus, including death.
DeSantis is issuing a state of emergency declaration to better coordinate the state's response to the coronavirus. The University of Florida sent a memo Monday evening to its professors telling them to move their classes online, effective immediately. We take a look to Martin County, and you might be wondering, when will Bathtub Reef Beach reopen? The answer is blowing in the wind. We've got to wait until the wind and the water calm down before we reopen, said Martin County coastal engineer Kathy Fitzpatrick. We want to have a beach that's usable and that we can guarantee to stay open a while. The county closed the popular beach near the south end of Hutchinson Island in mid-November after a combination of high tides, waves, and wind washed away most of its sand, leaving a sharp drop-off of several feet from the dune to the water. Waves at Bathtub were approaching the top of the dune Monday morning, Fitzpatrick said. Surf around Stewart ranged from 8 feet 6 inches to 10 feet, and winds mostly from the east ranged from 17 to 22 miles per hour, according to Magic Seaweed, a website used by surfers. And now this. In sports from Major League Baseball, spring action yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the New York Yankees by a score of 3-1. St. Louis Cardinals over Minnesota Twins 3-0, and 3 being that popular number yesterday. Toronto Blue Jays ahead of Pittsburgh Pirates 3-1. Houston Astros over the Detroit Tigers by a score of 2-1, and it was a tie with the New York Mets and Miami Marlins 1-1 yesterday. Toronto Blue Jays over Tampa Bay Rays 8-3. Chicago White Sox in a tie yesterday with Cincinnati Reds 3-3. Boston Red Sox 2-1 over Atlanta Braves. Los Angeles Angels falling by just 1 run to the Cleveland Indians. That score was 11-10. And yesterday the Milwaukee Brewers beat Seattle Mariners 2-1. News time 7:26, and weather and traffic together coming up.
$7:27, the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, the ride is nice. Our I-95 looking good. Turnpike traffic looking good on there right now, and we don't have any accidents through town. And there's your latest look at traffic. It's a nice morning, too. It's 71 degrees in Stuart, 68 right now in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Morning here on the Treasure Coast. Scattered rainfall is moving in from the coast and will create some wet roads. Warmer temperatures along the coast than inland this morning. This afternoon, warm and breezy with high temperatures in the upper 70s and breezy winds out of the southeast. Some fast showers are possible moving in from the coast, and skies will feature a mix of sun and clouds.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give them a call at any time, 772-220-WSTU. That's 772-220-9788. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go Show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:31, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And Bonnie, I meant to ask you, what are your plans for after the show today? I always like to know what you're doing.
After the
I
show
like to keep
today,
tabs on you.
Yeah, we're going to finish cleaning the palatial palace
Okay.
because we like it palatial and spatial and cleanliness and all that cleanliness going on. I might go see a movie later on today.
Oh, and what movie's that?
I'm not really sure yet. I haven't looked at the movie list yet. I'm not sure what I want to see. We've been watching movies at home. Let's see, in the last 3 days last night we watched Arthur, the original.
Oh, I like that one.
I like the original, and I like the new one that came out too with the funny actor, British actor's name that I can never remember. But if you get a chance to watch the newer version of Arthur, fans of the old Arthur will like that too. They did a very funny job in that.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw What Lies Beneath with Harrison Ford.
Right.
I got Gary to actually watch a thriller with me.
A thriller?
It was
a thriller from Manila?
It was a scary, kind of a very scary movie with Harrison Ford in it. And good gosh, afterward, Gary said, why did Harrison even make this movie?
Wow.
His style is more Indiana Jones. Okay?
Wow.
And this was more like of a horror flick. And let me see, what did we watch? Oh, we watched The Heavenly Kid.
Okay.
That one's pretty special too. All these movies that I'm mentioning, by the way, we got for free because we've not been wanting to rent or buy lately.
Mm-hmm.
And The Heavenly Kid is a 1980s movie too that is really, really sweet.
Okay.
And it starts out with these guys car racing where they're kind of playing chicken and driving the car over the cliff. Right away, it gives you that James Dean Rebel Without a Cause kind of feel.
All right.
Just some ideas for some movies
All right.
that are free.
Okay, very good. Well, it's one of our free segments that we really love, Bonnie. What time is it?
Stupid news time.
Oh, yeah. I feel like the Clampets, Beverly Hillbillies.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Let me tell you about
How's my
the
band-
story of a man named
Right.
Jim.
There you go. How's my banjo picking doing?
That's
pretty
me
good.
slapping.
That's
You
some
play
knee
the-
slapping stuff.
And you play the banjo oh so well, Evan.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy that wanted some donuts in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Wielding an axe may be a bit of an extreme for robbing a donut shop, but police in Oregon say that's exactly what 40-year-old Christopher James did. And he didn't even want any money, just donuts. He allegedly jumped over the counter of a 24-hour donut shop in downtown Portland, filled up a box with donuts, and then ran out the door.
I guess
That was it.
He had a sweet tooth.
Yep.
He
That was it.
He couldn't get rid of it.
Ran out the door.
There you go.
Yeehaw.
That's so special.
Remember Jim Baker, the evangelist guy?
Yeah.
Well, if you got conned by Jim Baker the first time back in the 80s, you'll get a pass. But how people are buying his daily loads of garbage in 2020 is beyond us.
He
but
has
they
a new
are.
show on.
Yeah.
I saw him.
So the New York Attorney General has ordered Baker to stop peddling an alleged coronavirus cure on his show. He has a coronavirus cure on his show.
Kidding.
Yes. And he's selling it, and he's been banned from selling it.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah.
I saw him on the show and I didn't recognize him. And then, until I saw the wording or the lettering, I'm like, that's Jim Baker from back in the day.
That's Jim Baker from back in the day.
And back doing what he was kind of doing.
Yeah, he got you once and he's getting you again.
And he's got a new babe involved. It's not Tammy Faye anymore.
Oh, she's so butt ugly.
The new wife that's beside him?
No, Tammy Faye. She was, Oh, she was the fake eyelashes, makeup. Ugh. That was gross.
But that was Tammy Faye. She had a style of her own.
Yeah, she was outstanding in her own field. Anyway, a paraplegic man from Gainesville is suing General Motors after he says the seat warmer in his pickup truck caused third-degree burns on his legs during a long trip.
Got a little too hot.
But I don't understand this. The guy's a paraplegic, got no feeling in his legs, and I don't get it. He's saying caused third-degree burns. Something's not right here.
Maybe does he have some sort of a prosthetic leg that...
Don't know, but you have no feeling in it.
But maybe it kind of burned the metalling on the prosthetic.
The guy became a paraplegic years ago in a car crash when he took his 2008 Chevy Silverado on a trip from his home in southern Missouri down to Louisiana and then back to deliver a trailer in 2018. Though he has no feeling below the waist, his seat warmer was inadvertently turned on at some point, and he didn't realize it until he got home and discovered second and third degree burns on his lower body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. He had it turned up maybe a little bit too high there.
As Emerald would say, let's kick it up a notch.
Bam!
Bam!
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Evan.
All right.
Evan.
What can I say? Got to have some kind of humor.
You got
Kick it up a notch.
You gots to.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the wedding business. Aside from making a lifelong commitment to the person you love and wearing a gorgeous dress, undoubtedly the best thing about weddings is the free cake and the booze. But what if you could enjoy these on a regular basis and get paid to do it, Bonnie, without getting married or having to attend a wedding? Would you do that?
On a regular
on
basis?
a regular basis.
Hmm.
Well, now you can, because that's what an online exhibition platform is looking to hire a member of the public as a wedding fair tester to travel all around and review wedding fairs.
They would have to hire me an Uber as well.
They're willing to pay you $50 an hour.
Okay.
And all your travel expenses. And you must be wedding obsessed.
Yeah. And you would be like considered a modern day wedding crasher.
Yeah.
And getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Getting paid for that matter. Would you want to do it, Evan?
I would do it. Heck yeah. Why not?
You get to do that with your line of work anyway,
Yes,
don't you?
I am a vendor at bridal shows.
Yeah.
But I will say this. There's one thing that does aggravate me is when I see the same people at different bridal shows over and over again. And when I ask them the same question about, do you have this? Do you have that? They say, oh, we have everything all taken care of. And then I'm like, I say to them in a very polite way, well, why are you attending the bridal show? And their answer is, we're here for the free stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They're here for the free stuff.
And why not? I mean, if you dig that sort of thing, why not? I can't knock them. It's what they do.
A New Delhi man was arrested this past Saturday after stealing no less than 8 motorcycles to impress his girlfriend, who had allegedly teased him about not having one. The culprit, the culprit had reportedly never shied away from throwing and attending parties in his area where he lives as a way of impressing his girlfriend. But on Valentine's Day last month, his efforts appeared pointless as she started teasing him about not having his own motorcycle. So what does the guy do? He goes out and steals 8 of them.
Good gosh.
Okay.
He should have impressed her more with his pocketbook and bought
8 of them.
Bought 8 of them, and he should have purchased 8 of them instead of stealing 8 of them.
Oh boy.
Now she's with a thief.
An Australian family who attempted to order 48 rolls of toilet paper online instead ended up with 48 boxes totaling $2,153 worth of bathroom tissue.
They stocked up. Now they can have a garage sale with it.
Yes. They said the girl by the name of Haiti said her family had been ordering toilet paper, 48 rolls at a time, from this online company. The online company was called Who Gives a Crap?
Is this starting to be our word of the day?
But she recently made an error while switching to a different variety of paper offered by the website. And when it asked for quantity, she says she put in 48 thinking that it would be a box of 48 rolls. Turned out it was 48 boxes.
Well, that's a lot of arsewipe.
Yes. The courier man turned up at the door with 2 pallets of toilet paper instead of 1 box. And she checked her credit card statement and confirmed she shelled out $2,153 for all the crapper paper.
Maybe she got a bonus too, and maybe they delivered the 2-ply.
Anything's possible.
I call that thickness.
Wow. All right. Organizers of a carnival in a French city announced they broke a Guinness World Record when 3,549 people came out dressed like Smurfs.
Really?
The Starry Moon Carnival, in a French city, said that 3,549 people were counted Saturday night in costumes inspired by the Smurfs, small blue characters created by Belgian comics artist Peyo in 1958 before going on to star in TV and film adaptations across the globe. Photos from the event show participants in blue face paint, blue shirts, and white and red hats.
How very cool and fun is that?
The last record was 2,762. Now it's 3,549.
That would be fun to attend an event like that and see that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's go to Portland, Oregon, where a 40-year-old guy named Christopher James went into a 24. I just read that. That was the where he went into the donut shop.
The donut one.
Yeah, the donut guy.
I have a stupid Florida man one.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
There was a guy in the Sarasota area that was arrested 66 times, and he's only 28 years old.
That's normal for some people.
Yeah. Do they not think it's like he's a repeat offender there?
What was he arrested for?
Things like drugs, failure to appear in court, assault, such matters like that.
66 times.
66 times.
Sounds like somebody I know. I'm not going to say a name, but it sounds like somebody I know very well.
I have the name, but I'm not going to say the name because his name's probably spread everywhere. So
Yeah, why give him more publicity?
just to give him a relief of just not
we don't want to give him a shout out.
not say the name.
No, finally in Australia, police in Australia found themselves confused and probably amazed after encountering a van outfitted with 2 lazy boy recliners as back seats.
Oh,
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
yeah, that sounds like a lazy boy comfort style
Yeah.
kind of ride back
Well,
there.
Last Sunday, Bonnie, the Westgate Highway Patrol officers were notified of a nearby unregistered vehicle by their patrol car's onboard license plate reader. Once authorities executed a stop on the vehicle, and after a quick chat with the driver, they noticed something odd in the back area of the van. Upon opening the rear door, officers found a 6-year-old boy seated in one of the 2 lazy boy recliners, while the vehicle owner purchased and installed in place of the van's factory rear seats. The armchairs weren't free-floating either, as the installation included affixing an alloy block to the seats in order to mate with the factory mounting hardware. While the department's Facebook post explaining the stop doesn't specifically mention it, you can also spot a seatbelt latch which appears to be fastened to the lazy boy chair. Interesting.
So there was like a 6-year-old boy sitting back there.
6-year-old boy sitting back there.
So was it did it say it was was it their child?
Don't know. Doesn't say.
Well, that story's going to leave me empty now.
It's going to leave you hanging.
It does,
wondering.
because like whose boy is it? And he was just sitting back there in one of the lazy boys.
He was just hanging out back there.
Huh.
Hanging out back there. Van wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Okay. Cops pulled up to it. They opened it up. Kid's sitting in the lazy boy chair. A little peculiar. It's not moving, so they can't write a violation because the kid's not in a car seat. It's just sitting still. Engine's not on.
Well, I would hope they found out whose child that was.
I hope it's theirs.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
I definitely hope so.
A most peculiar one, Evan.
Yeah. 7:45. It's time for news brought to you by the all-new Alfa Romeo Maserati Stewart. Come experience a state-of-the-art dealership, an unsurpassed selection of luxury performance vehicles. The rich heritage of Italian motoring is within reach. Let them make your dream of driving an Alfa Romeo or Maserati come true. Alfa Romeo Maserati Stewart, located 3980 Southeast Federal Highway, Stewart. Online at alfaromeostewart.com. MaseratiStewart.com. Luxury legacy. Time to head over to the news desk with the headlines. Here's Bonnie.
Well, Evan, the Florida Department of Health is issuing new guidelines for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus.
New policy: anyone who traveled internationally to any location is being urged to self-isolate. That is, stay home for 14 days following their return. More specifically, anyone who traveled on a cruise of Egypt's Nile River during the month of February should also spend 14 days in isolation after their return. While the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Florida is relatively low for now, it is expected to spike once more test kits are deployed across the state. I'm Rory O'Neill.
5 members of the Florida House and a legislative staff member are agreeing to self-quarantine after attending events in Washington, D.C. last month that also were attended by people who have tested positive for the coronavirus. In Tallahassee, the House on Monday overwhelmingly approved a plan that would expand school vouchers in Florida. Bill supporters, including Representative James Bush, say the plan allows parents to make education choices that they think are best for their children.
It's a honorable thing to give parents and empower parents an opportunity to be able to put their children in places where it is safe, where it is conducive for teaching and learning.
Critics say lawmakers should focus on doing a better job funding public schools. The bill now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill has been approved by committees. Gas prices could sink below $2 a gallon in some parts of Florida this week due to plummeting crude oil prices, as coronavirus concerns have led to a lower global demand for jet fuel and gasoline. AAA pegs the current statewide average at $2.27 a gallon. Only one city in Florida is among the happiest 20 cities in the United States. A list from Wallet Hub based on factors including rates of depression and income growth puts Cape Coral at number 20. Because of high demand, Publix is putting a limit of 2 on the number of certain items customers can buy for coronavirus-related protection, including hand soaps, sanitizers, rubbing alcohol, masks and gloves, and disinfectant wipes. Governor Ron DeSantis is updating the state's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The governor says the vast majority of Floridians won't face serious health complications.
It's pretty clear that as people get older, and particularly those people that have a serious underlying medical condition, those are the people who are the most at risk to have serious negative consequences from this virus, including death.
DeSantis is issuing a state of emergency declaration to better coordinate the state's response to the coronavirus. The University of Florida sent a memo Monday night to professors telling them to move their classes online, effective immediately. Well, shortly before 4 a.m. Monday, 3 masked men with handguns robbed an arcade west of White City, according to St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. The men entered Midway Arcade on South 25th Street and ordered customers playing the casino-style games to the ground before taking an undisclosed amount of money and leaving, a press release stated. Witnesses reportedly said there was nothing remarkable about the 3 men that would help identify them. They left in what detectives believed was a gray, older Buick Century. Video surveillance is still being processed, a sheriff's office spokesman said. He said it was not the first time the gambling arcade had been robbed. There were no injuries, and the men didn't fire their weapons, the spokesman said. Anyone with information about the armed robbery should contact detectives at 772-462-3230. And now for sports. And Florida State has garnered its highest ranking in basketball since the Apollo 17 orbiter began its return to Earth nearly 5 decades ago. The Seminoles jumped 3 spots to number 4 in the latest Associated Press poll Monday after winning their first ACC regular season title in program history. It is Florida State's highest ranking since December 1972, when the Seminoles started the 1972-73 season, number 2 in the country. Major League Baseball action, the spring scores. Boston Red Sox last night beat Atlanta Braves 2-1. Chicago White Sox tied with Cincinnati Reds 3-3. Los Angeles Angels lost to the Cleveland Indians 11-10 in that one. Milwaukee Brewers over Seattle Mariners 2-1 yesterday. It was a tie. Miami Marlins with the New York Mets 1-1. Toronto Blue Jays beat Pittsburgh 3-1. Houston Astros over Detroit Tigers 2-1. The Phillies beat the New York Yankees 3-1, and St. Louis Cardinals upset the Minnesota Twins 3-0. Our news time is 7:50. We'll be back with weather and traffic together.
7:52 the time. The Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Rivers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we're not seeing any traffic accidents to report throughout the Treasure Coast. US 1 is looking good. I-95 Turnpike moving very smoothly for us this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. It's a partly cloudy sky here in Stewart, 71. And here's our forecast at WPTV.
Morning here on the Treasure Coast. Scattered rainfall is moving in from the coast and will create some wet roads, warmer temperatures along the coast than inland this morning. This afternoon, warm and breezy with high temperatures in the upper 70s and breezy winds out of the southeast. Some fast showers are possible moving in from the coast, and skies will feature a mix of sun and clouds.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give them a call at any time, 772-220-WSTU. That's 772-220-9788. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go Show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
There's simply no words to describe our morning show, so we'll have to use bodily noises.
I'm having a conversation with my daughter via text message.
Oh, is she down south, your daughter?
Yeah, she's getting ready to head on out, and she's working the details at the baseball stadium at 15 Ballpark at the Palm Beaches. Her and her dog Unum, her canine, her dog specializes in bomb detection, so they have to sweep the stadium. And I don't mean with a broom either. They do a sweep with the bomb dogs, and then they check incoming vehicles at random. They walk around the vehicle, and the dog, detects, if there's any kind of danger around, so to speak.
That's very, very cool. Now, is that her dog that she takes home and her companion
Unum
always?
is hers with her 24/7, literally 24/7. The police department owns the dog, but the dog stays with Haley all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long have they been partners, Evan?
They've been partners for a few months. Yeah,
Nice.
they've been partners for a few months.
Yeah, I could imagine if I were your daughter, I would probably form some form of bond with that dog, like they probably do if they work together. A very good bonding.
Yeah, definitely so, without a doubt. She's a very humble young lady, and she doesn't take to compliments very well just because she's very humble.
Mhm.
That's just her personality, her demeanor.
That's
the way
cool.
she is. I'm thinking one day maybe I'll get her to come on the show and we can talk about her police work and her career. I just think it would be fascinating for the listeners to get to know her on that kind of a level.
Could she bring Unum in with her?
No, that's not going to happen.
Why
we
not?
We have to
It could.
pause. We have to pause for a minute. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station.
On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
8:06, the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. And Bonnie, it's that time for one of my favorite, and I mean literally one of my favorite times, is to have the Sheriff of Martin County on. Sheriff Snyder's joining us on our line, and we always enjoy talking with him, getting an update on what's happening in Martin County. Sheriff, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us on your busy day.
Good morning, Evan, and good morning, Bonnie, and good morning, Martin County.
You know, there's a lot of talks about the coronavirus. It seems to be everywhere you turn these days. You look at the news, you see the news on TV. Tell us how Martin County is preparing. Give us an update on the latest of what's going on with the Sheriff's Office and the preparations you guys are taking.
Well, the Sheriff's Office is always a combination of proactive and reactive. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we have to wait until something bad happens, but then we also have to be proactive and be ready in case it happens. So to that end, we've ordered additional private protective devices for all of our road patrol personnel. We've instituted some policies in the jail that we think will be helpful. We have two fairly brand new machines that are commercial grade misters, and that if someone comes into the jail and is determined to have the virus, we can actually spray a chemical that we have, industrial grade, safe for humans, but that would kill the virus. And we've done everything we can physically to get ready, and there's nothing much more we can do now but wait and hope we don't get it.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty out there. It's a pretty nasty disease, but it's more prone, they're saying, Sheriff, that it would affect the elderly opposed to somebody, that's, in their 30s or their 40s, because the elderly are more prone to this because of their immune systems.
Well, everything I've read, and in some respect, I'm not a mystic. I don't have higher authority or contacts, or I don't have better information than the average person. But if you read the information from the CDC, it is clear that the older you are, the more compromised your immune system might be, the more dangerous it is. So yeah, if I was a 17-year-old going about my life and I had no underlying medical conditions, I probably would say, hey, this is a flu season, get over yourself. But, once you start getting into your 60s, 70s, maybe you've had a little bronchitis in the past, you've got issues that can, not so easily resolve. They're the ones that have to do the social distancing. If you don't have to be somewhere where there's lots of people, maybe it's time to avoid it. But the worst thing to do is to hyperventilate, put your head in the bag and deep breathe and cause yourself to faint. This is not the end of the world. And if you follow the directions of the health authorities and use reasonable caution, at the end of the day, we're probably going to be fine.
Yeah, and that's just it. Err on the side of caution. It never hurts to be too proactive, and prevention. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, they say. That's the long of it, right?
100%. If I can just weigh in on one philosophical side note, this is also a good time, when we talk about not panicking, to be a good citizen, and don't deplete the stores of necessities, the toilet paper and the hand wipes. And if you're not in one of these categories that you may have to hunker down because of your age and underlying condition, for mercy's sake, would you quit running to the stores and stripping the shelves? How about leaving some for other people? And get what you need. The end of the world is not here. Publix is going to get supplied. You're going to be able to buy your necessities. And this hoarding actually creates its own problem.
What really aggravates me, Sheriff, is what I see. And I just happened to look on eBay this morning at hand sanitizer and toilet paper. And, you've never seen these items on eBay before until now. And the prices that people are asking are just ridiculous. People are looking to benefit from this pandemic that's going on.
Well, we have that in every crisis. Every time there's a hurricane or something here, there's always somebody that will take advantage of someone else's constraints. And so that's my message this morning, as somebody who's tasked with providing some form of public safety and leadership, is to give the system a break and don't run on the shelves and hoard things that your fellow citizen is probably going to need but can't get because it's in your pantry. And 5 years from now, you're going to look and go, what in the world did I do?
Mm-hmm. Sheriff, I really love what Publix did with limiting the products to two items per customer.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very helpful because if we do get it, which I suppose is more likely than not, people are going to need to get a bottle of hand sanitizer. They are going to need to get some toilet paper and other things. And there's enough to go around if we wouldn't hoard.
Absolutely. Amen.
Sheriff, I'm switching gears here. I want to talk a little bit about phone scams. And I actually, unfortunately, was attempted to be taken advantage of on a phone scam that Florida Power and Light is going on right now. The perpetrator, or we call him as the perp, they call you up on the phone and you get a recording that says, please call this number back within 30 minutes or you could be subject to have your electric turned off. Well, I called the number back just curiosity, but I called from a phantom number that I have through Google Voice. And when I called the number back, the person proceeded to ask me what my name was, what my address was, this and that. And I just gave them like some phony address and they were, well, your electric is in danger of being turned off for non-payment. You'll need to remit a payment of X amount of dollars and we take a credit card right over the phone. And I knew that my electric bill was not past due because I pay that thing every single month on time. So that's the latest scam that's going on out there, Sheriff.
We have had that one circulate because these are like styles. They come and they go. We have the FP&L scam. We have the high grandma scam. Someone calling until someone answers thinking it's their grandchild who's in jail. Or the IRS scam is out there. The best way to avoid any of these in the modern era is most people, if not all people, have caller ID. If you just won't answer your phone, if that person is not someone you know, you're never going to be annoyed. Just don't answer it.
Well,
that will 100% end it.
The funny part about it, Sheriff, is that the number they called from was the Florida Power and Light customer service number that came up on the caller ID. So they spoofed it is what they did. So I, in turn, kind of flipped the tables on them, and I had some time to kill, about 20 minutes. So I basically wasted the guy's time on the phone for 20 minutes, and then I kind of let him in on what I was doing, and then I just hung up the phone, and that was that.
Yeah, well, that's true too, Evan, with the spoofing of and copying numbers. You might get a call and think it's from them. So here's the other antidote to all of this. No legitimate company, not the IRS, not FP&L, not Macy's. Nobody will call you and tell you to pay them over a credit card. They just don't do it.
Right.
So if you haven't, what I tell people when I do little PowerPoint talks is if you have not instituted the conversation, if you're on the computer and you haven't started the chat, you're going back and forth on email, if it's a phone call and you haven't started, if it's someone at your front door and you haven't asked them to come, if you're responding to somebody's questions, the chances are high that you're about to be scammed.
The best thing to do, Sheriff, in my humble opinion, I think you'll agree with me, is if you're in doubt, pull out your Florida Power and Light bill. There's a phone number on there to call for customer service. Call the number that's on the bill, talk to the representative, and they'll tell you right on the phone if you owe them if you owe FPL money.
Yeah, absolutely. You start the conversation. Just a couple of weeks ago, I got a phishing scam on my credit card, and it was so profoundly professional looking. I stared at it and I knew I was that it was a scam. But I called a credit card company just in case, and it was it would have been trouble for somebody to start down that road. But all you do is you follow what I just said. Somebody else started the conversation by sending me an email. So there's a chance if you're answering somebody's question, either by email, telephone, or front door, if they've started the conversation and it's about money, you're probably going to get scammed.
Definitely. So take, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Be proactive. If you're not sure, call the vendor directly. Take out that bill, whether it's Florida Power and Light, whether it's your water bill. The Internal Revenue Service will never call you. They will never call you. They do all their communications by snail mail, Sheriff, correct?
Yes. I don't know that if you've started some dialogue with them by email that they won't respond, like Social Security. So you could get legitimate. But remember, if you started the conversation by looking up the webpage and sending an email and they're responding to you, you're going to be fine.
Exactly. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on a subject that Christina talked about a couple of weeks ago with these gypsies that come in and out of town. How has that been in Martin County as of late?
No flare up. We've had a couple of cases, but we do this. Still, this time of year, they'll come through here. You know, the weather's drawing them. They're traveling con artists, and they'll knock at your door and say, "Can I clean your roof or clean your gutters or trim your trees?" Just anything to get you into the yard to take a look at what they're proposing to do, and then their unseen second person, the suspect, will come into your house and take your jewelry.
All right, that's Sheriff Snyder from Martin County Sheriff's Office. He joins us each and every weekday on Tuesday at this time to give us an update and kind of educate the listeners out there as well. Sheriff, one of these days we're going to have you try to get you to come in studio with us, and we'll do a couple of segments with you in the 8 o'clock hour. I know you're a busy guy, but we really appreciate your time on the phone.
Glad to do it. Y'all have a great day. God bless.
Have a great day too. That's Sheriff Snyder from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Bonnie, it's always a pleasure to whenever we can get the sheriff on the phone and talk to him and find out. Have you ever had that happen to you where you get a phone call and they're trying to scam you?
I haven't had it happen to me. No, I haven't. And I don't have anybody in my circle, my circle of friends or elderly friends that I do have that have had that happen to them either, Evan.
I've fallen victim to phone calls, but I don't play into that whole scam. I just don't, because I'm smart enough and I know better.
I have it coming through my phone always that when it rings, that certain call will say scam likely too. So it just alerts me, not to even answer the call. So I don't really I don't fall any victim to the scams.
Yeah, definitely so, without a doubt. You just have to you just got to be careful.
But the sheriff did have good information too, saying that just only pay something if you initiate it. If somebody initiates it with you, just disregard that. And you had the good tip at, look at the bill, look at the FP&L bill, and just call them and say, what do I owe?
Take the initiative.
You
call
initiate.
them, find out what you owe, if anything at all.
Yeah.
My bill, I don't owe nothing because I pay my bill on time every month. I don't have it where it's auto pay. I have to log in. I have a reminder come up on my phone that tells me when to pay my bills. I log in and I pay my bills.
You know what's weird? It's like I don't even need a reminder telling me. It's just it's just like something that's in my brain. I just know like when my bills are due, and I just pay them on time every month. I don't even need that reminder.
All right.
Not to brag or anything.
It's 8:20 on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news brought to you by Discovery Senior Living, and Bonnie has the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
And good morning. The Florida Department of Health is issuing new guidelines for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus.
New policy: anyone who traveled internationally to any location is being urged to self-isolate. That is, stay home for 14 days following their return. More specifically, anyone who traveled on a cruise of Egypt's Nile River during the month of February should also spend 14 days in isolation after their return. While the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Florida is relatively low for now, it is expected to spike once more test kits are deployed across the state. I'm Rory O'Neill.
5 members of the Florida House and a legislative staff member are agreeing to self-quarantine after attending events in Washington, D.C. last month that also were attended by people who have tested positive for the coronavirus. The announcement from Speaker Jose Oliva halted a House session. Public galleries were cleared out and maintenance crews wiped down desks and sanitized the chamber. President Trump has meetings planned at the White House today over coronavirus. coronavirus. The president flew back to Washington after a lunch hour fundraiser and roundtable at the home of a businessman in Longwood near Orlando. In Tallahassee on Monday overwhelmingly approved a plan that would expand school vouchers in Florida. Bill supporters, including Representative James Bush, say the plan allows parents to make education choices that they think are best for their children.
Honorable thing to give parents and empower parents an opportunity to be able to put their children in places where it is safe, where it is conducive for teaching and learning.
Critics say lawmakers should focus on doing a better job funding public schools. The bill now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill has been approved by committees. Well, gas prices could sink below $2 a gallon in some parts of Florida this week due to plummeting crude oil prices as coronavirus concerns have led to a lower global demand for jet fuel and gasoline. AAA pegs the current statewide average at $2.27 per gallon. Governor Ron DeSantis is updating the state's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The governor says the vast majority of Floridians won't face serious health complications.
It's pretty clear that as people get older, and particularly those people that have a serious underlying medical condition, those are the people who are the most at risk to have serious negative consequences from this virus, including death.
DeSantis is issuing a state of emergency declaration to better coordinate the state's response to the coronavirus. The University of Florida sent a memo Monday evening to its professors telling them to move their classes online, effective immediately. In St. Lucie County, fire officials have just canceled all of their station open houses until further notice because of the coronavirus. When you have something like this come along, the same thing we did for H1N1 and Ebola, we take additional precautions and develop an incident action plan, said Captain Richard Hall with St. Lucie Fire Rescue. Hall says his EMTs have N95 masks and gowns, and they can put on for protection. If fire rescue transports someone they believe may have been infected with the coronavirus, they have a way to disinfect and decontaminate the truck. They have a device called the Aeroclave that sprays a mist throughout the vehicle. And in Martin County, Bureau Chief of Rescue Chris Camel with Martin County Fire Rescue says their dispatchers have been asking enhanced questions of 911 callers for several weeks. Camel says as first responders, this is what they do: deal with people who are sick and injured. This time there's a new factor. All first responders stress you can do your part by following the guidelines from state and federal health officials to keep that virus from spreading. Well, Florida State has garnered its highest ranking in basketball since the Apollo 17 orbiter began its return to Earth nearly 5 decades ago. The Seminoles jumped 3 spots to number 4 in the latest Associated Press poll on Monday after winning their first ACC regular season title in program history. It's Florida State's highest ranking since December 1972, when the Seminoles started the 1972-73 season, number 2 in the country. And in Major League Baseball, our scores last night: Toronto Blue Jays beat Pittsburgh Pirates 3-1, and the Houston Astros over Detroit Tigers 2-1. St. Louis Cardinals on top of the Minnesota Twins 3-0, and the Philadelphia Phillies beating New York Yankees 3-1 yesterday. The New York Mets and the Miami Marlins, they had a tie, 1-1. Toronto Blue Jays upset the Tampa Bay Rays 8-3. Chicago White Sox tied the Cincinnati Reds 3-3. Boston Red Sox beating Atlanta Braves 2-1. And last night, LA Angels fall by 1 run to Cleveland Indians 11-10. The Milwaukee Brewers win over Seattle 2-1. News time is 8:26. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
827, the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
We do see an accident now this morning. This is in Martin County on I-95. This is I-95 northbound in Palm City at mile marker 102. No lanes are being blocked there at the moment. Traffic's getting through. Other areas, no accidents. There's your latest look at traffic. Palm City is at 71 and 68 right now. In Port St. Lucie, a partly cloudy sky. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Morning here on the Treasure Coast. Scattered rainfall is moving in from the coast and will create some wet roads, warmer temperatures along the coast than inland this morning. This afternoon, warm and breezy with high temperatures in the upper 70s and breezy winds out of the southeast. Some fast showers are possible moving in from the coast, and skies will feature a mix of sun and clouds.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give them a call at any time, 772-220-WSTU. That's 772-220-9788. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go Show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:31 the time right now, the Get Up and Go show. It's time to go from our place to outer space, where Randy Siegel's standing by with your daily dose of space news. Or should I say space dust?
How about spaced out?
Spaced out. I know you just woke up this morning, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Good night's sleep?
Oh, it was, as a matter of fact, it was the best night's sleep I've had in a while.
Wow. All right. So you haven't even had breakfast yet.
No, what am I doing here? You didn't deliver.
Wow. Just call Uber Eats. They'll bring you breakfast.
Oh, now you tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of places that'll do that.
Oh, good.
All right. Anyway, what's going on in space?
Well, in history, on this date, 2006, NASA launched
its Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter was designed to go into orbit around the Mars and to spend a lot of time sending back data from the Martian surface. And believe it or not, it's still operating today. It's one of the main spacecrafts that NASA is using to send data back from the surface of the planet. Yep, any probe that lands on Mars transmits its data up to the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and the orbiter relays it back to Earth. The spacecraft is doing more work than NASA ever intended. Its primary mission was only a 2-year mission, but it is still going strong today. Yep, the astronauts on board the International Space Station captured and are now unloading the Dragon spacecraft. It was the final spacecraft that SpaceX has in their cargo contract and their cargo missions. Starting with the next mission, they will be launching Dragon 2. Dragon 2 will in fact be a manned version of the cargo vehicle that is also designed to carry cargo as well as astronauts to the International Space Station. That will be the next venture. So in a few months, we should see the first Dragon 2 launch to the International Space Station. In this case, Jessica Meir grappled the vehicle yesterday, and it was attached by ground control to the spacecraft. And everything is working extremely well. So to say the least, you have seen a lot of new science get to the International Space Station, including the Bartholomew facility. The Bartholomew facility, created by the European Space Agency and Airbus, attached to the exterior of the European Columbus module, is designed to provide new science opportunities on the outside of the space station for commercial and industrial users. The facility offers unobstructed views both towards Earth and into space. Potential applications include Earth observation, robotics, material science, and astrophysics. Also included in the cargo were new experiments to learn more about the body and to learn more about humans and how we will eventually go into space. Well, the coronavirus has forced NASA to close several of its centers and do a lot of employee work on the phones. Yep, the Ames Research Center was completely closed, and they were told to do call-ins or use their computers at home, and that NASA would work out ways for them to use their home computers to do some of the work they were doing in the facility. This is unprecedented, and it breaks new ground for NASA. The big question comes in is the security that they have. Will they be safe to do all the work at home and not have anybody hacking into it? The Chinese have launched another one of their Bandao satellites. Bandao is their GPS satellite. Bandao was launched by the Long March 3B rocket and placed into orbit. The Chinese have now launched 50 satellites since the year 2000, something that is unprecedented, to say the least. We're now learning that there are several companies that are offering rides into space. The Momentus company has purchased 5 SpaceX Falcon 9 small satellite rideshare missions between this year and next year to showcase the agility and the viability of going into space for much less money. That will become a game changer, to say the least, as they start moving further into the commercial business industry. Russia has also test-fired the propulsion unit of its ExoMars spacecraft. This is a spacecraft that will be eventually launched using a Proton rocket in July or August of this year, headed for Mars. It's a joint project between the European Space Agency, Russia, with some instruments from the United States. One of the Canadian lasers that is on NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft, which is hoping to pick up a piece of an asteroid Bennu, has failed. So far, it has not affected the performance of the spacecraft, but NASA is still concerned about what might, in fact, happen. The Discover satellite, that's the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric spacecraft that provides weather data and Earth imaging, is back in service 9 months after suffering a technical problem. The Deep Space Climate Observer has resumed its normal operations. This includes providing key data used in space weather observations, as well as images of the Earth from NASA's Earth Polychromatic Imaging Camera suite. We also know that there's been a slight postponement by the European Space Agency in launching their next spacecraft. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about what else is happening, going on in the space program. So until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from Randy Siegel, our resident space expert. That happens every Monday through Friday at around 8:30. And we go from space to another place where Bonnie's standing by at Ellie's Downtown Deli with some succulent, deliciously delectable treats for us this morning.
You're
right, Bonnie?
You're right, Evan. Succulent treats, like you mentioned, that you just want to sink your teeth right
Say that 10
into.
times fast.
No, thanks. I think I'm just going to not say it and go and eat.
All right.
Taking a bite of food, you can enjoy a chicken teriyaki wrap today. So pick a tortilla flavor of your choice. And, of course, it includes roasted red peppers, teriyaki roasted chicken on this fresh jumbo wrap. And, you know, if veggies are your choice, too, Mark makes a great veggie-style wrap. It's called the Mediterranean Veggie Wrap, with your choice of the tortilla, including spinach, garlic herb, tomato, basil, wrap of your choice. Order a side, a fresh side today. For dessert, try some Oreo pie to take home, or that delicious, succulent peanut butter pie, Evan. And of course, yeah. And what's that day that's right around the corner? St. Patrick's Day coming up too.
Yeah.
Get your orders in for corned beef and cabbage. Mark will make it for you, prepare it for you. You know, that night you're enjoying St. Patrick's Day at work, you can just, on your ride home, how convenient, just pick it up at Ellie's Deli. On 18 Southeast Colorado Avenue in Stewart, no, actually 18 Southeast 6th Street in Stewart, just off Colorado, and give them a call at 772-781-6605.
Time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,663 an ounce, and silver is opening up at $17.05 an ounce. 8:40 is the time now on the Get Up and Go Show. It's time for news, all brought to you by the all-new Alfa Romeo Maserati Stewart. Come experience a state-of-the-art dealership and unsurpassed selection of luxury performance vehicles. The rich heritage of Italian motoring is within reach. Let them make your dream of driving an Alfa Romeo or Maserati come true. Alfa Romeo Maserati Stewart, located 3980 Southeast Federal Highway in Stewart. Online at alfaromeostewart.com, maseratistewart.com. Luxury legacy. It's time to head over to the news desk for the final time this morning. Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The Florida Department of Health is issuing new guidelines for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus.
Under the new policy, anyone who traveled internationally to any location is being urged to self-isolate. That is, stay home for 14 days following their return. More specifically, anyone who traveled on a cruise of Egypt's Nile River during the month of February should also spend 14 days in isolation after their return. While the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Florida is relatively low for now, it is expected to spike once more test kits are deployed across the state. I'm Rory O'Neill.
In Tallahassee, the House on Monday overwhelmingly approved a plan that would expand school vouchers in Florida. Bill supporters, including Representative James Bush, says the plan allows parents to make education choices that they think are best for their children.
It's a honorable thing to give parents and empower parents an opportunity to be able to put their children in places where it is safe, where it is conducive for teaching and learning.
Critics say lawmakers should focus on doing a better job funding public schools. The bill now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill has been approved by committees. Gas prices could sink below $2 a gallon in some parts of Florida this week due to plummeting crude oil prices, as coronavirus concerns have led to a lower global demand for jet fuel and gasoline. AAA pegs the current statewide average at $2.27 a gallon. Well, because of high demand, Publix is putting a limit of 2 on the number of certain items customers can buy for coronavirus-related protection, including hand soaps, sanitizers, rubbing alcohol, masks and gloves, and disinfectant wipes. Governor Ron DeSantis is updating the state's response to the coronavirus outbreak. The governor says the vast majority of Floridians won't face serious health complications.
It's pretty clear that as people get older, and particularly those people that have a serious underlying medical condition, those are the people who are the most at risk to have serious negative consequences from this virus, including death.
DeSantis is issuing a state of emergency declaration to better coordinate the state's response to the coronavirus. The University of Florida sent a memo Monday night to its professors telling them to move their classes online, effective immediately. A Fort Pierce man and a woman were shot Monday afternoon and taken to the hospital. The shooting activity happened in the 800 block of North 32nd Street around 4:45 in the afternoon. Fort Pierce police are working to identify possible shooting suspects in the case. People who live in the area say they are becoming more concerned about gun violence in the area, saying shootings seem to be happening more frequently. At least 8 people have been shot in Fort Pierce since early December. When will Bathtub Reef Beach reopen? Well, the answer is blowing in the wind. We've got to wait until the wind and the water calm down before we reopen, said Martin County coastal engineer Kathy Fitzpatrick. We have to have a beach that's usable and that we can guarantee to stay open a while. The county closed the popular beach near the south end of Hutchinson Island in mid-November after a combination of high tides, waves, and wind washed away most of its sand, leaving a sharp drop-off of several feet from the dune to the water. Waves at Bathtub were approaching the top of the dune Monday morning, Fitzpatrick said. Surf around Stewart ranged from 8 feet 6 inches to 10 feet, and winds mostly from the east ranged from 17 to 22 miles per hour, according to Magic Seaweed, a website used by surfers. The surf should drop to less than 2 feet Friday and Saturday, with waves in the single digits, according to Magic Seaweed. County officials had planned to do a major beach renourishment project, that is, at Bathtub this spring, but postponed it because they didn't get any qualified bids from contractors. By then, mid-February, there wasn't enough time to finish the project by April 1st, when sea turtle nesting season gets into full swing. Nesting season officially runs from March 1st through November 15, but a leatherback turtle already has laid eggs near Santa Lucia Beach, a couple of miles north of Bathtub Beach. Our news time right now is 8:46. And in sports, college athletes in Florida would be able to make money off their name, image, or likeness under a bill overwhelmingly passed by the Senate on Monday. The Senate voted 37-2 to allow athletes to be paid for the use of their name or image, a practice that's still not allowed by the NCAA. Florida is following the lead of California, which has a similar law set to go into effect in 2023. Florida's bill would take effect July 1st of 2021. In national hockey scores from last night, the Florida Panthers upset the St. Louis Blues 2-1. Colorado Avalanche fall to the Los Angeles Kings 3-1. In our baseball scores, our spring scores from last night, Los Angeles Angels fall by 1 run to Cleveland Indians 11-10. Atlanta Braves fall to the Boston Red Sox 2-1. Milwaukee Brewers beat Seattle 2-1. And the Chicago White Sox with a tie, Cincinnati Reds 3-all. And it was a tie, too, between the Marlins and the New York Mets 1-1 last night. Houston Astros over Detroit Tigers 2-1. St. Louis Cardinals beat the Minnesota Twins 3-0. And the Phillies beat New York Yankees. That score was 3-1 yesterday. News time now is 8:48. Weather and traffic together coming up.
$8:49 the time, the Get Up and Go show. It's time for Traffic and Weather Together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
There is one accident to report, and this is on I-95 northbound in Palm City. Accident at mile marker 102, and there's not any roadblock from that accident. St. Lucie County, we're not finding any traffic slowdowns or accidents there. There's your latest look at traffic. Right now, it's a partly sunny sky in Stewart, and we have 72. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, scattered rainfall is moving in from the coast and will create some wet roads, warmer temperatures along the coast than inland this morning. This afternoon, warm and breezy with high temperatures in the upper 70s and breezy winds out of the southeast. Some fast showers are possible moving in from the coast, and skies will feature a mix of sun and clouds.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give them a call anytime at 772-220-WSTU. That's 772-220-9788. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:53, the Get Up and Go Show. As we start to wind things down, Bonnie, I thought it would be interesting to do a round of this or that with you. So you have to pick one of the two things that I'm going to name, and then you have to tell me which one and why you choose that particular one.
Okay. Would you ever want to switch it around, Evan? Would you like to give out your choices at all? I'm just giving you that opportunity.
Oh, I would do that with you, but then
Okay.
I'd have to give you my laptop over there.
Yeah, okay, just in the future, I just thought you might want to have fun with the answering of it too.
Believe me, you wouldn't want my answers.
I would be.
I think I would shock everybody with my answers.
That's what I mean. The public would be happy to hear.
Well, I can answer along with you.
Okay, that
I'll
sounds
answer
good.
along with you. How's that? You feel better about that?
I do.
I'll
feel
do it better.
Amazing.
Okay, I'll do it that way. As long as you feel better and you're happy, I'm happy. That's all I care about.
It's all
you're
good.
50% of the show. Okay.
And you're 50% of the
That's
show.
right. That means we have 100%.
I'm glad we're all here every
All right,
morning.
Here we go. All right, here we go. You got to pick one of the two and tell me why. 3-week cold or a 4-day flu? Which one?
A 4-day flu, as hard as it would be.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be out of work for 3 weeks.
Right.
Of course, a 4-day flu would set you out of work for at least another week, but probably not as long as 3.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at the work time involved.
I would take the 4-day flu as well. Get it done and over with.
Yeah.
Definitely. One and done, 4 days, you're done and over with.
It hits you like a Mack truck, but
Yeah,
hey,
definitely. All right, here's the next one. Standard time or daylight savings time? Which one? Daylight savings where you got to mess with the clocks forward and back and forward and back. Or do you just leave it like it is?
daylight savings time.
No, I'm
I
going to
do.
disagree with you on that. Why do you like daylight savings time?
Maybe I'm just so like used to it and
Okay.
old school seeming with it.
Look at it this way. Half the year you lose an hour, half the year you gain an hour. So there's really no benefit.
But I always liked that idea of Halloween coming around
Mhm.
and October coming around, where
Okay.
you get that spirit of the feeling of it just getting darker quicker, so
Okay.
you can light the house up with your pumpkins and
All right.
candles. It's an emotional thing to me.
All right. I stay with standard time. That's just me.
And why was
I
it?
would stay with standard time just because I don't like messing with my sleep schedule, even though I don't have any, because you lose an hour, you gain an hour, you lose an hour, you gain an hour. You got to mess with the clocks. It's just a real pain in the arse.
I'm sure a lot of people agree with you with that one, Evan.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next one. Pick one of the two, Selena Gomez or Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato.
I would agree, Demi Lovato. She seems like she has less issues than Selena Gomez.
Does she?
I think that's
she's
just my opinion.
cleared up resolving some of her issues of
All
late.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Lunch with Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
I would agree. Definitely Joe Biden. I would enjoy Joe Biden because he's a former vice president. So I would enjoy picking his brain.
Sanders is a little intense, and I would be afraid that he would eat me or something.
Okay. Would you rather sneeze or cough?
Sneeze.
Sneeze?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one for me because it seems like if you sneeze, you're spitting out more germs, but if you cough, you're not spitting it out as much. So I would have to say cough.
I would say sneeze and just let her loose.
Let it loose. Let it rip.
With a Kleenex.
All right, let it loose.
with sanitation.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let her loose. All right. That's a good one.
Let her loose.
Let her loose. Get her done.
Gotta do that sneeze and have that camera do it in slow motion.
All right. Bologna or pimento loaf?
Pimento loaf.
Bologna for me because I just simply don't like pimento loaf.
And I had too much bologna one summer when we were poor.
Okay.
I had that. We were microwaving our bologna with a slice of cheese on it and putting
right.
it between bread.
All right. So here's a good one. I think
Okay.
I know what you're going to answer on this one. I think I know what you're going to answer. Going to the library or going to a movie?
Going to a movie.
I would actually agree with you. I would rather go to a movie because I'm not a reader. I don't like to read. I don't have the patience to turn the pages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Drake or Usher?
Usher.
Usher, I
yeah.
agree with you also. Cough drops or cough syrup?
Cough syrup.
I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I would say, depending on what it is, I would say the cough syrup. But then again, I would say the cough drops. Because if the syrup is nasty, you're going to gag when you swallow it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lastly, staples or paper clips?
Paper clips.
Paper clips. All right. Why is that?
I don't know. They're just they're light as a feather, and I don't have to hold that heavy stapler.
I would say honestly, I would say a stapler.
Why is that?
Because it secures things better.
Okay.
I would definitely say a stapler. It
Good-
secures things better.
Good reason, Evan.
Yes,
Good
definitely
reason.
so. Definitely so. Well, as we say the word secure, it's time to secure another show in the book. Right, Bonnie?
Yeah, that security level feels good.
It does.
Doesn't it? Don't you just
Especially-
feel warm and cushiony now?
Yeah, especially with what we do.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for us, folks. The Get Up and Go show. Another one down, I don't want to say down the tubes, but another one in the book, as they say. So we invite you to listen to us tomorrow morning. Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat place. How about that one?
But no bats in the studio,
No
please.
bats. Just somebody get the bat phone. Hey, as always, we say ciao, Maine.
Honduras.
And Arrivederci in the words of Ellen DeGeneres.
Be kind to everyone.
That's right. Be kind to one another, folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. We'll see you bright and early, 6 a.m. tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.